Hello everyone on YouTube. So, I want to record this project from start to finish. And it's a Japanese style Tanto. The piece of steel is 440C. It measures about 0.3 or 0.295 inches thick. And let's move closer. We're talking about, I'm holding the camera so it's going to be a little shaky, so forgive me. We're talking about a blade, if the habaki ends here, we're talking about a blade that might be 11.5 inches. And the Tang will be more than 5 inches. And I made myself some notes, that's what the writing is over here. So I've had this piece of steel for a while, you may have seen it in other videos, and I just haven't worked on it yet. I really shouldn't start on this one. I've got other projects that I should finish first, but I just got inspired to get started on this. And got some notes here for my plan of attack, if you will. So I cut the steel out using an angle grinder, and this, to make this curve over here was a little tricky, and it protrudes here a little bit, so I made a few marks as to where I think I have to fix. So I need to grind these parts down where you see black, and grind here. So a little note here to fix. A little note here to start off by first fixing the bottom edge. And then once I have the bottom edge done, I'll know exactly how to measure the top, the spine of the knife, and then cut it down. It's going to be tapered. It'll be like 1.25 inches here, and anywhere between this point here before you get the curve point, right? So this point here might be anywhere between 3/4 inch to 1 inch, something in that range, maybe 7/8 of an inch. So it's going to taper. I'll try not to make it taper too much on this side. It'll just get thinner towards the end, and I'll save some of the weight, shave some of the weight, and bring the balance point further back. Kind of measured out where the habaki would be. The tsuba, the guard, would be somewhere here, so I'm going to taper these parts in, allow for the curvature. This is the pretty much straight in the back. So kind of rough plan of attack and layout of the Tanto Japanese style knife. I'm going to try to do a habaki here, which locks in with the sheath, the seio. I think it's seio, seiya. So this mechanism here, this would be a piece of copper bent over here. No idea how to do it. I mean, I've got an idea how to do it, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. Not sure it's going to work out. Might just end up a Tanto sword without an actual sheath. Let's just put it on display or something if it doesn't work out. But I'll figure something out. I've got a piece of titanium. I can make the guard, which I call the tsuba, and wrap this with ray skin and some sort of silk cord. So 440C, it doesn't cost too much, but after heat treating, it is a very good steel. It's my first time doing this, so we'll see how it works out. My biggest challenge, I think, is going to get very nice lines. No idea how to do that. So I need to first fix the bottom edge so I know exactly how to cut the top edge. I want some sort of a curvature here, which I'm going to get by cutting it and not by the differential heat treatment process that causes the steel to bend. So we'll see. So first thing is to plan out what you're going to do, and second thing is to shut up and grind. So that's what we're doing next. We're going to shut up and grind.
Just removing some of the slack. Let me say that again. Just removing some of the slack. I'm trying to grind away the part which I think needs to be fixed. Seems to be a little shallow over here, bulges out over there, so I was hitting it I marked it with ink, and you can see it's getting ground here. It's getting ground here, but the belt's not touching here. So I'm not getting a continuous curve, if you will. Okay, so it's hitting here, not hitting here, so this part here is shallow. And it's not hitting here just because of the angle. So let's try to fix that. Just a little more to go. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to put some weight on this belt. And this gives me a natural curve between these 2 points. The wheel here and the wheel here. And obviously if I put the weight more on this side, there's less of an angle here, more of an angle at this end. And if I put weight on this side, well then here we'll have a bigger deflection, bigger curve, more subtle curve, less curve here. So I'm trying to control the curvature of this blade by where I put the weight on the belt. And this will then give me a natural curve here, a continuous curve, a smooth curve, rather than one that's done by hand and might, deviate an angle. So this is makes a smoother curve, more continuous curve. And all I have is this little bit left here, which, by observation, I can't tell. Now this is a flat, because the belt is sliding under it. It's not grabbing here. So this is a flat. So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so this is not good enough. I'm going to keep working on it.
Alright guys, so I've got the blade here and I've cut out the bottom. And I've got this dowel. It's made out of oak and I think it's a 1/4 inch. I've got a clamp on this side of the table, which is off the camera, and I've got this block of wood. And here's my knife, my tanto. So I'm going to take a marker. I'm going to prop this on my hip. And I'm just going to bend this piece of stick, this dowel, until I get the angle I'm interested in. So I want most of the curve near the handle. And I want the tip to be fairly straight. So I need more of a curve. Just going to play with this a little bit until I get the curve that I find appealing. And I can move my hip left and right to move that block. And I want this end straighter, and I want this end here curve more. So here's where I'm going to apply pressure. And then I'm going to draw it out. And if I like it, I keep it. If I don't like it, I'm going to erase it and start over again. But again, what I'm looking for is a very natural curve. And I think I'm cutting out too much. I think I got too much pressure. So I'm going to move the blade until I get it right. That looks about right. I hope that the weight of my pen does not throw this off. And then it's just follow the line. Okay, so here you go. Here's what I got. So I've got this end fairly straight, and then you can see the curve, and then this end is fairly straight. So this is straight and starts to curve more and then less. That's the kind of curve I'm looking for. I think that's going to work much better than this one here, although this looks pretty good. I try to measure it out. you know, over here came out a little sloppy, and over here kind of like hops, and it's kind of shallow down here, and then it's straight down there. I was trying my best. It didn't work out this way freehand. So using a piece of wood or a piece of plastic as a guide and letting that wood determine a natural curve, a continuous curve, just makes a better curve, I think, for me. Let me just measure out how much I have. I got 1 3/4. I need to pull more. Nope, don't have it. Don't have it. One more time. I've got 1 1/4 here, 1 3/8 here. I need to pull another 1/8. Alright. Now if I had a CAD program, I could send it out and have them cut for me, water jet. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Where's my tip? There it goes. And I think I kind of Alright, let's measure it again. What do we have here? Using the bottom. I got 1 1/4. Maybe a little more. Let's try that again. So if those are 1/8 of 16, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/16. I got 5/16, 1 5/16. And down here, I have 1 1/4, so it's a little less. And then over here, I've been less than 1 1/4, and good. So my continuous. Alright, so starting from here, I have more than 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and I start to lose the 1 1/4 about here. Cool. So I'm just going to put a mark. When do I start getting 1 1/4? That's 1 1/4 here. Okay, so after measuring it, let's put the pen away. I'm sure you guys appreciate a steady camera. Okay, so after measuring it, I have 1 1/4, not straight down, but diagonal, okay? Just kind of following the curve of the blade. So that is straight. 1 1/4. Okay? A little more than 1 1/4. I said 1 5/16. 1 5/16 to here. And then from here, it's 1 1/4 all the way down to here. It's continuous. Taking the bottom part of this curve. 1 1/4 blade is fine. 1 1/4 ends here, and then it starts to taper. Okay? So I think it's going to be something like this. Let's draw that part out. Just a guesstimate what it's going to look like. That's what it wants. Okay. Oops. The transition here has to be fixed. Cool. Cool. So I think what I will do, most likely, I think what they do is something like this. That's even better. There we go. I think that's the right angle. I'm not sure how they do the angle. Alright. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Now we're going to remove the top. Alright, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy about how that worked out. Okay, I think it's going to look good. What I'm going to do next is notch out the tang. I kind of need a visual as to which way the angle is going. So I'm going to put it here and just notch it out. Okay, so here we are. I've cut out the tang and I gave it a little bit of an angle so this way it has the appearance of it being curved. And this was a leftover piece of steel, by the way. There was something else over it, so I couldn't cut it out with a natural curve. I probably should have left it alone as a flat spine, and that's still traditional. But this is, so everything I'm doing is practice to move on to make a real samurai sword. So this is all practice. These are all little baby steps, honing my technique. So over here it may look a little odd, and that's because if it was done right, there would have been more material up here, but this is the original surface. Right here is the original surface. And I kind of wish there was just a little more up here, just to give it a straight. Otherwise, this will be corrected with the handle. Same thing with the tip. If I just had like a couple of millimeters just more here up, then I probably would have kept this side, this length. But now this kind of tips down. When you follow the curve, it looks like it's tipped down like a drop point.